The tires and brakes on my 78 280Z have seen better days for sure. So today we're gonna tackle those and it's gonna be awesome. I can't wait to see how this thing drives. In case you're wondering about this extension cable going into the trunk, got the Ozone machine. First order of business is to lift up the Z, set her down on jack stands, and in the case at the front, some Miata daisies. And to remove the super cool Super Era factory aluminum wheels with their 90s rubber and expose the tired original fixed calipers and rear brake drums. For as old as these are, they've been in need of some love, especially after sitting in a barn for 30 years. I did get a bit of a head start replacing the driver's wheel cylinder after it exploded on a test drive in a previous video. And refreshing all four corners of the Z will be a warm welcome to the new master cylinder we installed when the Z's engine was first brought back to life. It's no surprise on this channel that I've been a big fan of these tires. They're the Michelin Sport EPX tires, and I've never seen tires this old and this bad still hold air. They were first produced in 1983, and they feature, well, I'm not quite sure. So I'm currently talking to Michelin right now, trying to find information on these tires. I don't know if you guys have ever tried searching for information on tires that aren't made anymore, but it's virtually impossible. I'm trying to find the best that I can because I'm a massive nerd and I want to be able to tell you guys more about these tires. All right, so chat just gave me a number to call, so I'm going to go ahead and call support and see if I can find any information on these tires.
Thank you for calling Michelin North America.
Gracias por llamar a Michelin. Thank you for calling Michelin. Gershman speaking. How can I help you?
Hey there, I just got off a chat on your guys' website.
So we just want to confirm what you want me to check if the tire that you're looking for, if it's
I know it's discontinued. I just want to be able to find some information about it. And the size is 195/75 R14.
Give me a minute because I need to check it with my supervisor about it.
Well, after getting on the call with the customer service center, the lady told me that her supervisors, the tires are too old to have any information on, and that their databases don't have it. So they were too lazy to search for information to help me out on my video. Or Michelin poorly manages their databases by not storing any information on their products. I'm sorry I couldn't give you guys any more information on the Michelin Sport EPX tires. After this great disappointment, it is time to load up the old tires and wheels and get some new rubbers mounted up. And about the new rubbers, they sure have some information. They're the good old Walmart specials, the Douglas All Seasons. I got these used on Marketplace for $100 for the 4. They're an all-season tire with a focus on a smooth, quiet ride. The tread design promotes stability in the wide grooves, move water and slush away from the tire quickly. So, yeah, those are going in the bed too. After making my way towards the shop, enjoying the beautiful scenery, and someone trying to get an insurance claim. Okay. Wow. Witnessing some more beautiful fall scenery in Kansas, and then getting a quick haircut. And of course, payment for the tires. I'll leave you all with this B-roll of removing the tires because, man, if you didn't see their age before, you can definitely see it now. After getting the beautiful Douglases mounted on our factory aluminum wheels, it's time to get them back home and button up our brakes. Wow, that's ridiculous. All right, I already got started on that brake drum, so next I gotta tackle this side. I think I mentioned something earlier about brake drums and that they get a bad rap. A lot of people talk about, oh, brake drums this, brake drums that, they suck to work on. I said they weren't that bad, but now if we had a relationship status on Facebook, it would probably go from dating to it's complicated. And part of that is because they don't like the mullet, but the wife sure does.
Your hair looks so good.
Thank you.
I freaking love it so much.
Hairstyles aside, I've found that the classic pull on stuff until it comes apart trick is a method that has never failed me yet. I think we could have gone a few more miles on these shoes, man. I don't think we should have replaced them. And since I got so ham-fisted with a hammer, I've got to straighten these backing plates out again. And if you're anything like me, you won't spend enough time on it, and it'll come back to bite you in the butt later. You can see when I try to free this flare nut, that whole tube is twisting. All you need was some PB Blaster, some determination, and some really terrible white balance and exposure settings.
Hooray! Yeah, looking in there, doesn't look like there's even any brake fluid coming out of the line, so
It's still clogged up on this side somewhere. Yes, pretty new wheel cylinder, hooray! So, since the footage still looks like a 2010s music video, I guess I'll edit accordingly.
you can see our model of backing plate has some really nice built-in grease retention pockets for us.
It is now time to tackle the front. Hopefully will come off easy because I know these were working at least enough. While these calipers are still mounted on the car, I'm going to use it to hold the calipers in place so that I can easily remove these retaining clips. Oh. Yeah, I'm glad I did decide to work on this still on the car. Along with the caliper, I sprayed some PB Blaster where the rotor bolts up to the hub. Using some mini vice grips, I did manage to get one of the pins out at least. We got it. And that would be the easiest one out of all the four that I had to do. Well, I managed to get the vice grips on this slide pin, and now I can rotate it and hopefully get this pin at a better angle so that I can pull it out. Because right now, it doesn't want me to pull it out. Now sure, drum brakes suck, but man, these pins were a nightmare. So in terms of winning my heart, calipers, you're not looking too good. Yes, very good. Gross. Using a small pry bar, I attempted to retract the pistons back into the caliper. Unfortunately, they're so seized on one of the sides, I had to quickly abandon my shortcut. Proceeding to nearly lift the car off the ground, I loosened the caliper mounting bolts and removed them. From the car, I removed the bolts from the chassis, the knuckle. From there, it's back to step number 1, now on the driver's side. And I'm sorry, man. What are you looking at me for? It's your car, dude. I did find that using the method of using the other pins as a drift to punch out the ones in the caliper ended up working pretty well. Before rebuilding the front calipers, here's a quick peek at the wheel cylinder we took off. Yeah, that thing wasn't going to work. The first step for the calipers is using compressed air to free up one of the pistons, then to use my big beautiful brain to decorate my walls. Beautiful. Now for the second offense of the disc brakes, freeing the seized pistons. I disassembled the caliper, pulled the free piston, and then said, goo.
Goo.
Just look at this decrepit 50-year-old dust seal. I soon found this inside piston to be particularly bad, and the next part in hindsight I would have done differently, and I'll tell you why. But I used my hammer and an old pad to depress the piston back into the caliper to free up some pitted, rusty surfaces. I then tried plugging off the crossover ports to pressurize this half of the clamshell, but I found this caliper sandwich method to be far more effective. Using the pads and pry bars on either side of the piston, I could force air pressure to the problem side. With some wire brushing and PB blaster, I slowly got movement. To keep working the piston, I cleaned the gap between the caliper and the piston to avoid getting more crud forced between them, and this was the step that I should have not skipped the first time. Using some repetition to force these back and forth, I slowly began to get more and more movement until I guess I wasn't recording when it came out, because there it is, and now it's a part in a bucket of vinegar to clean the corrosion. And for the last step of disassembly, I'm going to bend this cotter key with my brute man strength, and then remove the axle nut retainer, as well as the finger-tight axle nut. The thrust washer and outside bearing should fall out as you start to release it, so make sure to catch those. And now that the rotor on hub assembly is off, we can remove the bolts holding the rotor to the hub, and my socket wanted to stick to every single bolt on here. There's just so much rust. It was after this I began to get creative with my removal strategies.
Well, it made the seal pop out.
And for those of you who know, you know there's a much easier way to do this. After indulging this tomfoolery a bunch of times, maybe whacking it with this hammer on the bench is gonna do it. Or maybe I could do what I did with the calipers and, you know, use a hammer while it's on the car to hit it off. Worked a lot better. So here's the main culprit that we're replacing. This glorified rubber band actually serves two massive jobs. Not only does it need to prevent high-pressure brake fluid from shooting out between the caliper and piston, but the rubber itself serves as a spring twisting back and forth to bring the brake pads back after they've been depressed. You can only imagine what it does to the mental health of a pad after it's been ground away by an abusive, toxic rotor. Call for help now. Holy cow, is that a brand new dust seal that I definitely won't forget to install? So the first ingredient in this brake stew is a healthy dash of... No, I said brake stew. I'm adding a healthy dash of brake fluid not only for the rich umami flavors it provides, but also to make sure that everything's moving smoothly upon installation and that none of my seals get pinched. There goes our main seal, and our piston should follow suit with some added resistance due to the seal doing its job. It's now a case of rinse and repeat to the other side, and after that we can place our crossover seals, can't forget those, and then marry the happy couple. It's after this moment that the technician torques the clamshell.
No!
To spec.
No!
Yes.
What? I don't wanna.
Too bad.
Do I have to?
Do you want your cookie?
Fine.
Joke's on him, there isn't one for those bolts. However, there is a manufacturer torque chart for thread size, and I just followed the recommendations per that. About 30 to 40 foot-pounds in this case. Opening up my new package of brake pads, you'll notice there's some pretty big differences between the new and old brake pads. Not only are they brand new and not worn out, but the friction material itself is different. The old pads are made out of an organic compound. Rubber, glass, and other organic materials are suspended in resin for this friction material, and they're cheap, quiet, and smooth, but they wear down quick, don't break too well, and produce lots of brake dust. Ceramic pads are the new standard, and they're not far off from the stuff that you'd find in your coffee mug. They're a little bit noisier, but man, they work a lot better and last a lot longer. The friction material is also held together in a different way. You can see the old organic ones have holes in them. They're the rivets that hold the friction material on these riveted pads. They're quite strong, and they were pretty popular back in the day before adhesives were that powerful. But with the advent of modern adhesives, in most cases pads are bonded or glued to their backing material. In order to keep our bonded pads inside of the calipers, I'm putting in the anti-rattle clips, using a little bit of silicone grease, and putting in our beautiful brand new pins that won't stick, and our beautiful brand new retaining clips that won't stick and cause me nightmares. And don't worry if you see those dust seals that you forgot to put in at the end of the assembly. All you have to do is vigorously slap the clamshell until they automatically pop in on their own. Okay, I get it. You don't believe me. Yeah, all you have to do is just stretch them over the edge. And then I'm using my pocket screwdriver to carefully tuck it around. And then, yep, slide over your retaining clip and it's good to go. And that is our beautiful completed set of calipers. During front axle reassembly, bearing grease is your friend. It acts like a lubricious glue that holds the bearings in place while you slide the hub assembly on. Here's a nice look at the left side of my face while I finagle the infamously tricky to line up caliper mount bolts. Oh yeah, and don't forget your fluid line as well. It's kind of important to, get fluid to your brakes. I'm also going to crack open the bleeder screws on all of the brake components before filling. I'm hoping this creates a low pressure environment at the bottom so our relatively high pressure fluid up at the top can work its way down much easier. On to installing our drum brakes, and they're getting the same bonded ceramic treatment, and it's important to note that usually one of the two has more friction material on the shoe. This shoe with the extra friction material, you always want to be facing the back of the car. Now I'm applying a light layer of silicone grease to our aforementioned grease storage pits. Really nothing too crazy here, you just want to make sure that you have enough that the shoes and the backing plate don't become one. Now for the opposite of what we use to install it, which is stretching it until it falls apart, we're going to stretch it until it pops together.
Yeah, not supposed to be that easy.
Now, we did have quite the time working on these little parking brake automatic adjusters. You have to turn this screw in. It's reverse threaded on the other side, but you got to turn that screw in. This side was really rusty and really seized, and we had to work it with a bunch of PB Blaster, get the wire brush out, scrub it a bunch, use some solvent, clean that off, and then re-PB Blaster it. I found that these baby vice grips work really well to get into that small space, and they also push this finger out of the way. It does need to be pushed up in order for you to thread it back in.
Now with these finished underneath, I can go ahead and button it up with our new drums. And since that's on, all that's left to do is put the wheels on in the dark. Of course, as soon as they go on, they come right back off. A short test drive revealed that I had some pretty bad scraping noises from the rear, and one of my rear brakes was sticking. That means that one of my brake hoses in the rear had some internal rust that was keeping brake fluid from getting back out of it and releasing the cylinders. Now, of course, the proper solution to this is buying a new brake hose. Yeah, I'm going to try to fix this. Using the world's greatest tool, the flare wrench, I'm removing the steel lines from our rubber hose, and she's dancing. And I am removing the clips that hold on the hose to the frame. And with that finally removed, we can go ahead and take the hose, and I've got some compressed air that I'm using to spray all of the crud out of this hose. Using one of the springs from the old wheel cylinders, I turned it into a straight pen and was able to use that to dig out the small orifice inside so that we can free up our blockage. Yeah, look at how restricted it is. Like, I'm trying to blow through it and it wants to come up. Using some more mechanical and chemical persistence, I managed to get both blockages completely freed up. Yes, the other side was a little bit stuffy too.
Thumbs up?
Thumbs up. And then it's back to the car to reinstall the hoses.
Bong, 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 bong. like this part of working on cars where I just film it and watch. I don't do anything or get dirty.
And for our other problem, the scraping. Turns out our backing plate's still a little bit bent, so we have to bend it back away from the drum so that it doesn't scrape. And with the Datsun coming back down on jack stands, finally, we can take it out for a test drive. Hi, I'm blonde now. Turns out that driving a 78 280Z makes you blonde. I've been driving this car for about 2 months since I got the new tires and brakes on. Man, it is just so much fun. Man, this thing just drives so smooth. Even with worn out suspension components, you can feel just going around the corners, the breakthroughs that it had in technology, and the new brakes definitely stop. They feel so much better, and I feel so much more assured and confident driving this car down the road. Man, it just feels so good. The new ceramic pads are squeaking just a little bit, and it usually happens when I'm going slow, but that's about the worst of it. Other than that, they feel really nice, really stiff, and man, it's just such a pleasure to drive it. Thank you everyone for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Sorry on the time crunch with the holidays and getting actual footage of this. It's been a little bit of a gap in uploading, but I'm glad to finally get this out to you guys.
Hi, it's me, the wife. You know, this car's grown on me a lot. It's pretty cool. It still smells really bad to me, but I have a really sensitive, sense of smell.
And the windows are rolled down now.
Yeah, it is a lot better with the windows down. When the windows have been up for a couple days, it smells really disgusting. No offense. But yeah, this car's grown on me. Walter's done a lot of work. He's worked really hard. I'm proud of him for all the work he's done and the way that he's actually made this car functional and cool and fun. All that being said, if you want to buy this car, please hit us up. It's for sale. Please buy it. Bye.